I did a video talking about how last week the Republicans voted to overturn a Biden-era rule capping overdraft fees at $5. If you have $10 in your checking account and you swipe your card for something that's $12, you go over. You are overdraft. And banks have historically charged you anywhere from 15 to 35, 40 bucks. Depends on the bank, depends on where you're at. And under the Biden administration, that was capped at $5. Now, before everybody starts typing, no, it wasn't, I'm going to address that if you just calm the fuck down. It was capped at $5. The Republicans last week voted to overturn that cap. Voted to allow banks to charge you whatever the fuck they want to charge you if you overdraft. And in the comments section of that video, I have a slew of people telling me I'm a liar, that that's not true. PNC, this guy here, charged me $36 per overdraft all throughout the Biden administration. Well, first things first, stop overdrafting your fees, because I see a whole bunch of your friends, your fellow conservatives in the comment section saying, then just don't overdraft your account. Maybe you should listen to some of your conservatives. But this gentleman named Jack Goff is one of many people. Tom Powell, never have I been charged $5 for an overdraft. Has been $35 for the longest time. The $5 was never implemented. My bank in North Dakota was still charging me $33. It's been $32 at my bank even when Biden was president. You are completely wrong. The overdraft fee, and always has been, $29 at my credit union in Virginia. I've had an account with them for over 25 years. My bank charges me $29.50 and has for over 15 years. It was never capped. That is wrong, man. It's not $5. My bank charges $35 for an overdraft fee and has been, before Biden was in office, they charged $35. I don't know if that has anything to do with him or not. No, it doesn't. Biden didn't do shit. My bank charged me $25 just administration. I don't know what that means. And now I'm going to show you guys how you need to get your fucking heads out of your fucking asses before you fucking comment on a fucking video, okay? First, if it was never implemented, if it was never passed, if it was never a rule that was put in place, why would the Republicans feel the need to hold a vote to overturn it? If it's not a thing, you don't need to overturn it, do you? Now for some education. I'm going to read this to you, but I'm going to still need you to pay attention. U.S. Senate vote to lift cap on bank overdraft fees. The U.S. Senate has voted to overturn a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, ruling aimed at limiting excessive overdraft fees, a decision banks are hailing as a rollback of undue restrictions, but consumer advocates see as potentially worsening the financial strains facing American families. We're going to pause right there. Once again, why are banks talking about it if it never fucking happened? The Senate voted 52 to 48 to repeal the $5 cap on overdraft fees, with all Democrats opposing the measure and all Republicans, besides Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, supporting it. The decision to reverse the rule highlights the ongoing debate over the balance between consumer protection and banking industry regulations, and how Republicans' current control of Congress will shape the direction of consumer-related policy until at least 2026. The CFPB's rule sought to prevent banks from charging repeated fees when a customer's account was overdrawn multiple times in a short period. The CFPB's rule, finalized in December and intended to take effect in late 2025, would have barred banks and credit unions from charging multiple fees on the same overdraft incident. It also prohibited those with assets exceeding $10 billion from charging overdraft fees greater than $5 compared to the typical $35 charge per transaction, unless they could demonstrate that higher fees are needed to offset the cost of processing customer overdrafts. Finalized in December, intended to take effect in late 2025, October of 2025, if memory serves. So yes, under the Biden administration, a rule was put in place that your overdraft fees could not exceed $5 if your bank had more than $10 billion in assets. $5. It was finalized in December after Trump became the president-elect, and just a month and a half before the end of President Biden's term, and it was set to take place in October 2025. That is a rule that would have helped average, everyday working Americans. It would have helped some of the poorest Americans who sometimes have no choice but to overdraft for their fees. And Republicans this week voted to overturn it. So now that you've all been educated that it actually was something that was done during the Biden administration, it was set to take place in October, we can get back to the actual point of the conversation. How the fuck does allowing banks to charge the poorest Americans among us more money to not have money help the American people? You guys are all making this excuse that this thing never happened. Now I've shown you that it does. Now deal with the topic at hand. How did the Republicans help the American people by overturning this rule?